Hello everyone, it is Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Thank you for joining me in my little corner of the internet where I talk all things planners, fountain pens, and fountain pen inks. And as you can see, I am ready to do my December currently inked. It's actually pretty late for me. It's actually, what's the date today? The 9th of December, and I'm just doing this. But saying that, my pens have been inked since the 1st of the month. I just haven't actually written them down. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'll be swatching in my Hobonichi A5 notebook with 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. I'll also be swatching with my Browse ornament nib. This is in the size 3mm, and that's it. Let's go. Where's the first pen? Oh, I'm already starting at a great point because two pens are not on my desk currently. Let's go. Here we go. All right, so the first ink, wow, so prepared. The first ink and pen combination is Ferris Wheel Press Workshop Wishes, and I have this inked in my Asvine C80. So I'm gonna do a, so graceful. I'm gonna do a swatch with my Browse ornament nib. And I've already drawn the outline for where I will do my swatching because knowing me, I'll probably end up messing it up somehow, but such is life. There we go. This is a sample that I received from a friend, actually I can't even remember when I received the sample, but it's been lovely and I haven't had a chance to use it in a pen. So this is the Asvine C80, and I just think it's the brown glitter. I don't even know. Oh, hold on. What am I doing? Brown glitter. And this has a number 8 size extra fine nib, and the ink is Ferris Wheel Press Workshop Wishes. So far, really enjoying this, and the nib is handling that shimmer extremely well. So that is Workshop Wishes with my Asvine C80. The next pen and ink combination is my Leonardo Memento Zero in the Via Latea, and I have it inked with Colorverse Hunmin Jeongyum manuscript. I probably butchered that and I do apologize, but this ink was given to me by Ina. We met very briefly, very quickly actually, a few weeks ago when she was here visiting Canada from the Philippines, and we met up at, of all places, Southgate Mall, and we ended up sitting and chatting for a good couple of hours. It was like we had known each other forever, and I love that about stationery friends or pen friends or people in the fountain pen community or the planner community, is that when you meet them, some people just feel like you've been friends forever. And I really like this brown, and I thought it would be too similar to Workshop Wishes, but I'm like, nah, you can never have too many browns. So this is Leonardo Memento Zero in the Via Latea. This was a, I guess, limited edition that Stilo e Stile had, and this is in an extra fine nib, and the ink is Colorverse. Oh, this is gonna take me ages to write down. Hunmin Jeongyum. Oh, that didn't take me that long. Manuscript. So far, a lovely brown, and I promise browns are not the only inks that I have inked up this month. So that is my Via Latea with Colorverse Hunmin Jeongyum, manuscript. The next pen and ink combination doesn't necessarily match, or they don't necessarily match, but I like what I'm using so far. I have Diamine Red Dragon in my Jinhao 20. Now this ink is one of the first bottles of ink that I had ever purchased, and I don't use red that often, but I decided, well, because it's Christmas, I should use red. And I've actually enjoyed it so far this last week that I've used it. I've used it already for a couple of journal entries, and it works really well in my Jinhao 20. I have no complaints of this in my Jinhao 20 so far. So here we have my Jinhao 20 in the pink rose gold, and this has an extra fine nib. There's a theme here, and this is Diamine Red Dragon. Wow, can I spell dragon? There we go. So far, really enjoying this combination, and I'm glad that I'm using up bottles of ink that have been sitting in my collection for a while. So Jinhao 20 with Diamine Red Dragon. The next pen and ink combination is one of my newest pens. It is my Leonardo Momento Zero Grande 2.0 in Winter Sunrise, and I have it inked with Diamine Bah Humbug. I am in love with that pen, and I'm just so grateful that I now have the Winter Sunrise in both the Momento Zero model as well as the Grande 2.0. And I thought this ink matches with kind of the reddish brown in the resin really beautifully, but also there's pink shimmer in this, so perfect, beautiful match. And oh, I just spilled a whole bunch on my table. That's lovely. So this is my Leonardo Momento Zero Grande 2.0 in Winter Sunrise, and this of course has an extra fine nib, and it is inked with Diamine Bah Humbug. I love the color of this ink, and that shimmer is stunning. Do I need to buy a bottle of this? We'll see. Love how those two look together. Beautiful. The next pen and ink combination, well, the pen is a new one. It is my Aurora 88 in Mantova, and I have this inked with Diamine Party Time. Yes, I decided to put a shimmer ink in my Aurora because why not? And I'm thankful that I was able to tune the nib a little bit myself, because since I've done that, it's actually been really lovely to write with. And I mean, this bright pink, I feel matches the resin really well. And I've been wanting to use some of these samples that I've had in my collection for a while, and I don't know why I'm hoarding them, because really these Diamine Inkvent inks, a lot of them are actually still available, so why not? But even if they're ever sold out, there's always gonna be another ink that looks very similar. So here we have my Aurora 88 in Mantova. Wait. And this has an extra fine nib. And again, the ink is Diamine Party Time. That's already 3 Diamine inks in here. Wow. But just look at how that pink matches so well with the pink in the pen. I love that. So that's my Aurora 88 Mantova with Diamine Party Time. The next pen and ink combination is my Pilot Kakuno. This is in the Mataromi White, and I actually have this with a Pilot extra fine nib, so very, very fine nib, and I have this inked with Kitty Inkpot Half Spring Break. And I wasn't sure how I would like this combination. Is it going to be too dry, or what's it going to be like in this extra fine nib? Because I've tried the Pilot extra fine nib before, the steel nib anyway, and I wasn't necessarily a fan. I thought it was too fine and a little scratchy, but I actually like this. There is a little bit of, I say, tooth to it, but I think I can tune that to get it to the way that I like it. So we have my Pilot Kakuno. Oh my gosh, I love how tiny, like fine that line is. And I'm gonna call this Mataromi White. And like I said, once I purchased all of those Pilot Kakunos, I'm going to make sure that I have a Pilot Kakuno inked every month. And this is in an extra fine nib. So all of the pens on this page are extra fine nibs, but they all look so different. So this is Kitty, Inkpot, Half, Spring, Break. Lovely. And I know this one doesn't match either, but I really wanted to use this ink with this extra fine nib, and I'm loving it so far. Probably need to tune this extra fine nib a little bit, but so pretty. The next pen and ink combination is my Zodiac Penco in the 3 Olives Martini. This is in the Cancer model, and I have it inked with Lenin Toolbar Bird Monster, another ink given to me by Ina. She is a big fan of her green inks. And it's funny because one of my favorite colors is green, but I don't use a lot of green inks. So I was grateful to receive this because look at that. Oh, there's a little bit, I think, of other ink that got into my nib, but we'll make it work. Okay, it should still be okay. I thought I cleaned out my nib. Yeah. Oh, hold on. No, it's still clean. Should be clean anyway. I can barely see that, but you can get the proper writing sample here. So this is my Zodiac Penco, and this is the Cancer model in the 3 Olive Martini, and this has an extra fine cursive smooth italic. And again, the ink is a Lenin Toolbar Bird Monster. I think a little bit of Kitty Inkpot may have gotten onto the nib, and now I'm thinking possibly in the ink pot as well. Such is life though. All right, so my 3 Olives Martini with Lenin Toolbar Bird Monster. The next combination is my Hines Penco Champagne at Midnight, and I have this inked with Journalize Star Wave Meadow. And again, this is another pen and ink combination that doesn't match exactly, but I'm trying not to be so matchy-matchy with everything because I realize I don't have a pen in every single ink color that I have, but I feel like the shimmers kind of match to the pen. Okay, so there's some matchy, but I also wanted to use this in or with a nib that handles the shimmer well, and this has a Yovo extra fine nib, and it's been working well with this. So this is my Hines Penco, and I believe this is a Model K in the Champagne at Midnight. And again, it's an extra fine nib. So the ink is Journalize Star Wave Meadow. And the shimmer is doing really well so far in this pen. Just look at that. I can't wait to be able to journal and doodle with that. So that's my Hines Penco with Journalize Star Wave Meadow. The next pen and ink combination is my Leonardo Ferrore in Aqua Petra, and I have it inked with Monteverde Stephanie Blue. This was I believe a hatch project with wasted paper. Oh, I'll just open the box. And this ink was sent to me by Endless, so I wanted to give it a try. And it's not normally, I say it's not normally the color that I go for, but I actually really like this. So look at that. Oh, there is a ton in there. It's quite the wet ink, which worries me a little bit because I've got a fine nib on my Ferrore, and I wonder if it's going to be too wet for me. So here we have my Leonardo Furore in the Aqua Petra. And this has a fine nib. And the ink is Monteverde and wasted paper, Stephanie Blue. It's really pretty, and I think it matches actually really well with the colors in this pen. So that's my Aqua Petra with Stephanie Blue. The next pen and ink combination is my Wancher in Frozen Sake. I got this at the Pacific Northwest Pen Show this summer, and I have it inked with Kitty Inkpot Moon Jellyfish Travel Journal. Yes, I wanted to ink this because one of the color, but two, it's that ink where I'm like, who came up with the name? Where did that name come from? And who has a job of naming all these inks? Because I would not have thought of this name for this ink. Because how does that color look like a jellyfish travel journal? Unless there's something that I've missed in, you know, popular culture. That does not look like a jellyfish travel journal. But anyway, this is my Wancher Pro Gear in the Frozen Sake. And this has a fine nib that has been tuned for me by Kirk Spear. And the ink is Kitty Inkpot. What is it? Moon Jellyfish. My goodness. Travel Journal. I don't know why, but it works. I like that blue. It's not an exact match, but I said that I'm not necessarily being matchy-matchy this time around. I really just wanted to combine an ink with the writing experience, and I think I'm going to be doing that really well this month. So that's my Wancher Frozen Sake with Kitty Inkpot Moon Jellyfish Travel Journal. I just like saying that. The next pen and ink combination is my Mayfair pens, and this is in the Noldor model. Oh my gosh, I cannot remember. Hold on. This is in the, no, that's wrong. I believe it is the Noldor model. Hold on. It is the Vanyar model in the Tiffany blue, and I have this inked with Robert Auster Ube Truffle, again sent to me by Endless Pens, and I'm so glad they did because it is a beautiful purple, but also I love Ube and Ube Truffle, my goodness. And when I look at this color, it's a really great representation of it. I mean, obviously Ube in real life is not gonna always perfectly translate, but it is a pretty good purple for it. And I thought it matched really well with the purple that is in my Mayfair pens. So once again, Mayfair pens, and this is the Vanyar, and this is Tiffany Blue. And this has, I believe it's a fine, nope, an extra fine. And the ink is Robert Auster Ube Truffle. That's lovely. And can we just appreciate this pen? Again, I love that Tiffany resin, the way that it just, the colors didn't mix together. They still retained their separate layers, and I just love that. So my Mayfair pens Tiffany Blue with Robert Auster Ube Truffle. And last but not least, we have my Esterbrook Model J, I almost said Esty, Model J in the Violet. Yeah, Violet. Why don't I remember the names anymore? Violet. And this is inked with Diamine Memory Lane. Again, not an exact match, but I really wanted to use Memory Lane. I'm really trying to use what I have, because like these little ink vent bottles, while lovely, I don't want to necessarily hoard them and keep them forever. I mean, there's so many inks out there that there's always going to be a new ink that comes out. There's always going to be another ink vent calendar, and I want to use what I have and not always buy the new thing unless I actually need to buy more inks. When do we need to buy more inks? But anyway, so this is my Esterbrook Model J in the violet, and this is inked with Diamine, Memory Lane. Oh, I forgot to write down the nib. This is a fine cursive smooth italic, and that is going to handle that shimmer so well. Beautiful. So my Model J in violet with Diamine, Memory Lane. So there is my currently inked for the month of December, and I really thought I wanted to try and do 15 inks 30 days in December, but I'm just wanting to take it easy, and I'm really happy with the combinations I've chosen. You can see, like, look at all of like the warmer colors here and then going into cooler, although that kind of looks out of place. But anyway, loving what I've chosen so far, and I'm really looking forward to playing with these pen and ink combinations for the month of December. Which one do you think is going to be my favorite at the end of the month? Let me know down below. All right, thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe. Thanks again, and have yourselves a great day.